Hi, to try something new every once in a while. Here, quick question here from Reddit. During gaming, I'm getting black screen crashes where the sound keeps going. How to clone my SSD? Is there a way to protect monitor edges from a cat bite? Hi, thanks for joining our Q&A video. If you have any tech questions of your own, leave a comment down below, whether it's from your gaming PC questions or any general tech questions. Let us know, we'll be able to get to you in a future video. Here, quick question here from Reddit by u/poppy2times. CPU and GPU temps. I have a Ryzen 7 5800X and a 6800 XT. While gaming, the CPU runs between 60 and 70 degrees Celsius and GPU is between 75 and 80 degrees Celsius. Is that okay, or should I get those temperatures down? For the 5800X, that is a CPU on the hotter side of things. For that model specifically, the TJ max, or the maximum operating temperature for it, is 90 degrees Celsius. So as long as it's below that range, you should be fine. It's well within operating temperatures. If anything, I recommend programs like HWinfo to be able to track temperatures. It'll list the TJ max temperature there as well. So as long, you'll be able to get all the information there. As long as it's within that range, you should be fine, but lower is always better. Okay, question 2. When is it time for a new power supply? By u/Rasselas1024. During gaming, I'm getting black screen crashes where the sound keeps going. It could be an overheating problem, maybe it's a driver problem, I don't know. How would I know if it's a power supply problem? My power supply is like 10 years old at this point. It seems fine, but it could be causing these crashes. Okay, so for this situation right here, very likely it's either a heating or just some sort of hardware issue with your PC. My first recommendation would be to update drivers and check the temperatures. That's usually a good sense to start from. Main thing is that you can eliminate essentially the possibility of it being a heating issue. If temperatures are normal, and again, below that TJ max temperature that I was mentioning before, you should more likely be looking at a hardware issue. If you do have integrated graphics on your machine, I'd say maybe you try removing the graphics card. That's always an easy first test. It's really just 2 things to disconnect. Yeah, that's usually what I'd recommend to start with. I don't think it's a power supply issue. It is possible, may need further diagnostics if it is, but I always recommend when buying a power supply, go a little bit extra, both in terms of quality and a little bit on the wattage as well, just so in that case you get that extra little bit of years of usage, as well as just you're spending a lot of money on the quality of the parts. Don't put poor power into those parts. Question 3. How to clone my SSD to my new SSD by u/JustAnOrdinaryPerson. So first time upgrading my SSD, but the thing is that my motherboard only has 1 slot for the SSD, so I have to clone that SSD I'm using into the new one, but I don't know how to do it. I'd appreciate to get some help. Okay, so for cloning, first thing I'd recommend is just looking at the brand you have. For brands like Samsung, Western Digital, Kingston, and Crucial, they actually, from their website, they actually all have their own cloning programs. As long as you're cloning to that specific brand, the software will be free of charge. Otherwise, you can definitely find some other cloning software online. It's fairly straightforward, but first thing I'd recommend, if you got an SSD from one of those brands, check the website there and use that free software. It's the easiest thing. First thing or only thing you may need is, whether it's M.2 or SATA, just an external adapter so that you can clone to it, since you only have that 1 slot on your computer. But other than that, it's generally fairly straightforward. Okay, question number 4. Should I disassemble any parts of my PC before traveling? I'm traveling on a short 4-hour flight tomorrow. My plan is to take my PC as is in its original box, bought it pre-built, wrap it well, put fragile stickers over it, and have it be its own piece of luggage. What do you think? Okay, so for this, traveling is always a little bit tricky, and it will depend on what components you have. If you do have a dedicated graphics card, I definitely recommend taking that out and having that separate. If possible, put it in your hand luggage. It does depend, again, case by case, pun intended, but yeah, graphics card would be the first thing. If you do have a larger CPU cooler, if possible, take the CPU cooler out. That does involve a bit more work. Or otherwise you may be able to find some expanding foam. I know all the machines we ship from our stores, they do come with a foam inside. Essentially it'll just expand inside the case. Just make sure nothing rattles around. Those are the two main things. Or if you have hard drives, take those out, put them in a separate case and take those with you as well. Question number 5. Is there a way to protect monitor edges from a cat bite? By u/Morphizer1. So unfortunately this guy has a bit of a cracked panel on his Asus monitor. That's a little bit difficult and unfortunate for him. For that, I did just move in with cats, so that is something I've been a little bit more aware of recently. My best recommendation for that would probably just be training if possible. Just train them which areas and surfaces to go on and not to go on. They hop up on your desk, just take them off, that kind of thing. If you're unable to do that or that doesn't really work, I have been using like a lemon or apple bittering agent. Just kind of spray it on the edges and things that you don't want them to touch, maybe cables like that. It's not a perfect solution and it doesn't always stick to all surfaces, but other than that, best thing that I can recommend, if you're leaving the room with your PC or whatever, just close the door and make sure they're not in there so they don't get up to too much craziness. Thanks for watching. Hope you like this type of video. We like to try something new every once in a while. So if you have any of your questions of your own, leave them down in the comments. If you like this type of video, if you didn't, let us know. Hopefully we'll be able to fix that in the future. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification to see future videos like this.